The world is a pretty boring place, and I know that as well as anyone. And I believe that one of the aspects that builds these hate groups, neo-Nazis and the such, that's not often talked about is a extreme version of this. They seem to have the power to delude themselves into believing that those of other races and cultures are these forms of comic book villains. Someone who is actively trying to take over America. Obama, president, the blacks are taking over, that sort of thing. But really, it's ridiculous, and anyone with any sense knows it's ridiculous. But I believe there's some form of depressing aspect. What would they do without this hatred? Have an office job? And any spare cash they got over, what would they use it for? Getting drunk? Not buying expensive Nazi paraphernalia? Like, instead they could be feeling like they actually have an input. Like the world is changing, like it's a war on all fronts inside of America, a civil war, a secret civil war going on. They can trick themselves and they can socialize with others and feel that there's a purpose to their actions, and they can hide up in their little Nazi hideouts and talk and debate and speak about God and the white race and all that hubbub. But really, it's just pointless. It's lies they've told themselves. Justify their actions. Now, of course, this is but one small part, and it probably doesn't even apply to all of those who partake in hate groups. The other main reasons are, and that are far more commonly accepted and spoken about, are just general a lack of empathy for those who are different, narcissism, fear of those who are different, the way you were raised, I suppose, a ton of other things that lead to people doing these things and representing these groups. But I think that it's an interesting concept. I think that all these horrible actions may come, at least partially, from some form of subtle, almost something that the same reason that people play Dungeons and Dragons, maybe even, just to, maybe I'm not sure if I said this before, but to a far more extreme fashion, that desire and to march against the liberal marchers and to stand up and say, Hail Hitler, it's ridiculous, but it does make me feel a little bit bad. It makes me feel like these are just lonesome people with no real purpose, people with no real desires, who have to trick themselves so fundamentally. Of course, that doesn't mean I agree with them at all, even in the slightest degree. But, I don't know. It does, even if only slightly, make me more, less hateful of the haters.